Alright guys, let's talk book haul. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew, and today I have got another book haul for you. But before we get to that book haul, make sure you are liking and subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content, plus every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Also, make sure you're checking that description box down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord, as well as links to all my social media and information about my Patreon. And that said, guys, this is another catch-up book haul. This book haul encompasses some of December, January, just so many digital purchases that I need to touch on, a whole bunch of just books that I've acquired, and all of my self-control, as well as a tiny little rant. Let's start with my digital purchases, going all the way back to late November, because, that's acceptable. Alright, so I picked up It Takes a Thief to Catch a Sunrise by Rob J. Hayes. I've read some of Rob J. Hayes' books. He does a little bit of the darker, more adventure-style fantasy, and I think this one was free, so I was like, yeah, why not? So I got that on ebook. And then also because Will White is just known for giving away his ebooks, like just randomly, just bam, have my books, bam, bam, bam. So I picked up the Complete Traveler's Gate Trilogy by Will White. I'm super excited to read this because I'm I'm completely caught up on Cradle, and I've been wanting to get a little bit more into Will White, and so, yeah, you can definitely bet that this is very high on my TBR. And then another, there was a bunch of, around the holidays, a bunch of free ebooks. And Army of the Cursed, which is War of the Last Day, Book 1 by Kareem Solomon? I think I've said that name incorrectly. But anyway, there's a picture of it. And I believe this is like an SPFBO finalist or semi-finalist. I don't know what year it was free, so I went ahead and snagged it. I also got The Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky, mainly because I got this on audiobook, because it is narrated by Sophie Aldred, who played Ace, the companion in Doctor Who back in the 80s. And I'm a huge fan of Sophie Aldred, so yeah, got that one. And then I picked up Bastion, The Immortal Great Souls Book 1 on ebook, because the physical book is a chunker and takes up a lot of shelf space. I would like to own the physical book. We'll see what happens. This one was recommended to me by Mike Shell, author of The Iconoclast. I had heard him recommend it to Steve from Steve Talks About Books and Stuff, and then he further recommended it to me. I've also recently dropped a review on Progression Fantasy for 1,000 Li, which I also picked up. That'll be appearing later in the haul. And some people in the comments also recommended Bastion to me. So that is pretty high on the TBR as well. Alright, I picked up Shadow of a Dead God, also for free. This is an epic fantasy mystery, Menec Torn Book 1. This is by Patrick Samphire. I know nothing about this other than that the cover looks super dope. Also, fantasy mystery sounded super appealing to me. I then got books 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Rift Cycle by Halo Scott. This encompasses Edge of the Breach, Echoes of Blood, Eyes of the Brave, Elegy of the Void, and these are all free. I got these all for free, so like I said, guys, I cleaned up when it came to free ebooks. Alright, I then got Nectar of the Gods, also by Patrick Samphire. And this is one that said an epic fantasy mystery, Menec Thorn Book 2. I don't know why I picked this one up. Epic fantasy mystery sounds interesting. So yeah, I went ahead and picked those up just plainly because I want fantasy, but I also was craving some mystery at the time. So I was like, I'll give this a shot eventually. Whenever that feeling comes around, bam, I got it ready to go. Alright, so then I picked up The Bone Shard Daughter. This has been getting a lot of buzz. My buddy Jake the Book's Drummer really enjoyed this one. This is by Andrea Stewart. I believe this one was on sale for $1.99, like a daily deal or something like that. So I picked that up on ebook. This is bone magic, things of that nature, which is kind of interesting to me because I read Bone Maker in January. Although that doesn't apply here because apparently I purchased this in December. So never mind, ignore what I just said. I then also picked up the second book In the Dagger and the Coin by Daniel Abraham. This is the King's Blood. I picked this up on ebook as well. I've been making my way through LPQ. I just read the third book at the time of filming, finished that yesterday. Guys, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, so I cannot wait to get more and more of Daniel Abraham's works read. I then went ahead and pre-ordered Bonds of Chaos, the ebook by Zach Argyle. I have talked ad nauseum about books 1 and 2. Guys, I love this series. Threadlight is super awesome and has a lot to offer. Then picking up on ebook, I got Iron Prince, Warformed Stormweaver, Book 1. This was a recommendation that came from my boss. He also really enjoyed Cradle. We kind of read that together, or around the same time and stuff like that. He said Iron Prince was very, very fun. And yeah, so I've read a lot of recommendations that I ended up loving from my boss. So that's Bryce O'Connor and Luke Chemilenko. I've got some of their books already on the shelf, and I figured, why not? I'll pick this one up. It got a good recommendation from somebody whose taste I kind of align with. I figured I'd go ahead and pick it up. Next up, I've got books 1 and 2 of the Onyx-Born Chronicle. And this is Cold from the North and the Darkest Dusk by D.W. Ross. I think these are more Norse-based fantasy. I don't know a whole lot more about that. I know the naked heart or the hardcover edition of it has like a really beautiful naked hardcover. That said, I don't really have a lot more to give you on that one. I then, of course, pre-ordered Champion of the Fallen. That is Riven World Book 2 by M.L. Spencer. As you all know, Dragon Mage Riven World Book 1 was my book of the year for 2021. I loved it so much. Give me more Aram. Give me more Marcus. And then I also picked up The Girl and the Stars Book of the Ice 1. This is kind of the sequel trilogy to Book of the Ancestor. It's set in the same world. Kind of sort of like the Broken Empire and Red Queen's War are, where those are the same world, just kind of separate locations or locales, if you will. I really enjoyed Book of the Ancestor. I think Mark Lawrence has a tendency to peak at book 2, so I do need to read Red Queen's War. I've got that one as well. But once I've read Red Queen's War, I'll then be doing the Books of Ice. So then that way I'm pretty much fully caught up on his adult fantasy books that I know of. I know he's got like some other stuff that's like not fantasy or like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what those are called. But yeah, I'll be mainly caught up on my Mark Lawrence. And then that brings us to, I think, January. This one was recommended by Steve from Steve Talks About Books and Stuff. This is Beguiled by Night, a Vampire Tale. By Nicole I'm going to butcher this last name. Eggeneer? I don't know. It's right there. This one was like told as like a vampire tale with like a time travel element where the vampire is experiencing their life backwards, or like they've gone through their entire life, they're in the future, and then they kind of loop back around through a time travel element and then have to do it all again, knowing what the future's like while living in the past. And that sounded kind of super interesting to me. So I went ahead and picked that one up for free. Next up, we've got Valley of the Free. This is Pandemonium Rising Point 5 by Michael Slitter. I don't know anything about this. It was literally free, so I went ahead and snagged it. I then got The Blood of Outcast, the Bane Sword Trilogy Book 1, also for free. This is by D.A. Smith. Again, I know nothing about it other than that somebody posted in the Discord Deals channel, hey, this is free. I then also got The Hellborn King. This is the Hellborn King Saga Book 1. I don't know anything about this other than the cover looks similar to the 5 Warrior Angels that was done for Brian Lee Durfee. So this one is by Christopher Brenning. And yeah, other than this sweet cover, I don't really know anything about it. It was also free. Like I said, I am a sucker for free ebooks. Next, we got Legacy of Ghosts, the Cortex Sagas Book 1. I got book 2. Sorry, this is book 2. I got book 1 a while ago. This is by Alicia Wanstall-Burke. My buddy Domnish really enjoyed this trilogy. So yeah, I went ahead and picked that up. And then at the time of recording, I also have pre-ordered A Touch of Light, Book 1 in the Ashes of Erevan. This is by Thiago Abdallah. And yeah, just look at the cover. It's got the tree. It's got the sword. I really, really enjoy that. That said, that is all of my ebook purchases. From pretty much the holidays to current. Now, let's talk physical. Alright guys, I went a little nuts I should have kind of organized this a little bit more. Guys, starting up, we've got The Iron Crown by L.L. McCree. I am reading this, I think, in February with Dominish. This is Dragon Spirits, Book 1A. Look at that cover. This is the only book I have ever sent away from the Broken Binding and gotten. This is like Dragon Spirits, Vengeful, just all sorts of interesting concepts here. This is self-pub. Oh, it's got some nice maps on the inside. And because I did send away to the Broken Binding, this one is signed by the author. I will have definitely a dedicated review for this one. Once it is read, you can look forward to that. Alright, then, my local Barnes & Noble, and like I said, I should have organized this better, it basically was going out of business. And so they did a 50% off the entire store. And I had mentioned this earlier. I want to make sure that I've got everything here. Like I said, I should have. But yeah, so like right before they closed, I went in one last time. And so all of this was 50% off. So let's talk about it. We've got A Brightness Long Ago by GGK, or Guy Gavriel K. This is a novel. GGK mainly does standalones. And this one had a blurb. The only reason I bought this was because of the blurbs on the back. I have yet to read a GGK, although I think in April I am going to try and fit in Tigana. I'm planning on reading that with Sarah Reeds. But this had a blurb from Nicholas Eames and from Robin Hobb, two authors that I really enjoy. But as a son of a tailor, Dinano Serra rose far beyond his station when he took service at the court of a ruling count, and soon learned why the man was known as the Beast. But his fate changed the moment he recognized Adria Rapoli as she entered the court's chamber one autumn night, intending to kill. So, yes, I don't know anything about this other than it has blurbs from authors that I respect. Then, my buddy Nico hauled these two, and these covers are terrible. They're absolutely awful. The UK ones are much better, but this is Blood of the Exile and Sorcery of a Queen, Blood of an Exile, excuse me, by Brian Naslund. I don't know anything about these other than they're supposedly pretty good. Both of these were available for me to pick up. I figured, why not? Nico hauled them, and I'm always looking for more books to buddy read with my buddy Nico. So that's why those got hauled. Then, of course, if you've been following the channel, you know I love Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. Brothers of the Wind is a prequel to that series set thousands of years in the past. I figured, why not? The last short book that I read was The Heart of What Was Lost. I did not like that one, so I'm hoping this one hits and lands a little better for me. Alright then, the last three in my sort of Barnes & Noble haul. I got Dead Man in a Ditch and The Last Smile in a Sunder City. And let's go ahead and hold those up. This is Luke Arnold, and supposedly, like, these are, like, kind of funny. They've been, like, sort of compared to Pratchett, but at the same time, this is like a city that had magic and lost its magic, and now they're trying to find ways to regain that. It basically says, welcome to Sunder City, the magic is gone, but the monsters remain. So that sounds interesting. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot about these. I know only really one or two people who have read this, and it has gotten mixed reviews, but I figured half off, why not? I would give it a shot. And then I have started Green Rider. I really enjoyed Green Rider. It took me a while to kind of fall into the pace and the setting and the type of fantasy that it was. This is by Kristen Brittain. This is a little novella. I don't know where this falls. I think this falls kind of somewhere around book 4 or 5. But yeah, I've got that ready to go. This is called The Dream Gatherer, a Green Rider novella and other stories. But it's kind of interesting. If you get in on the cover, it's like this building with a boat sticking out of it. So that's kind of interesting to me. Kind of like that. All right, then over here, we've got even more books. I did a book outlet haul. And what I got on my book outlet haul, and I got all these for like $30, so that was nice. I got books 1 and 2 of the Raven's Blade duology. These are books, I don't remember which one's which. I think this is the first one, and Black Song is the second. These take place after the Raven's Shadow, and kind of goes back to the single POV structure. Again, those very simple covers. These covers kind of grow on me the more I look at them. But this goes back to the single POV structure of just following Valen Alsorna, no more Riva, no more Lerna, or any of that nonsense. This is just back to Valen, so supposedly this is return to form. I am currently 70% into Queen of Fire. I don't really mind the multi-POVs anymore, but yeah, so I am looking forward to reading these eventually. And then also got The Helm of Midnight by Mariana Lostetter. And this has got a series name that I don't know what it's called. I think it's like something Sins. Anyway, this is supposedly like Grim Reaper, or not Grim Reaper, like Jack the Ripper style fantasy. So I'm super kind of interested. It says evil blooms in darkness, bloody, ambitious, and absolutely riveting. Yeah, so a legendary serial killer stalks the streets of a city shrouded in darkness and secrets in the stunning first novel of a new trilogy from acclaimed author Mariana Lostetter. That sounds interesting to me. And then Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. And this is kind of interesting. Let's see if I can get it. So you can see these yellow, and then there's like, you can kind of see the shadow of the shiny little bits on the lettering. I think that's kind of interesting. This is like an underground library set like underground Edinburgh with, I don't know, Rumpa dropped out of school to become a ghost stalker. She now speaks to Edinburgh's dead, carrying messages to those they left behind. Already, that sounds super interesting. Plus, it's a short book. I haven't heard a whole lot about this. This came out, I think, mid last year, and then I never really heard anything about it, so I got those. Alright, and then, let's see. Let's go ahead with my Mylar Rat books. We've got The Starless Crown by James Rowlands. Excuse me. I read a lot of James Rowlands' Sigma Force, which is more thriller, sort of espionage style books. But I kind of don't really read those style of books anymore. But when I heard he was putting out another fantasy book, because he's written fantasy under another name, but I haven't read any of that either. But, I mean, literally, I just bought this right off of the author name. This was just an auto-buy. As soon as I saw that the author was putting out a fantasy book, I went ahead and picked it up. I know nothing about it. Then this is The Left Hand of the Sun, or no, just The Hand of the Sun King. I always want to say The Left Hand. I don't know why. This is by T.J. Greathouse. I sent away on Book Depository for the hardcover, mainly because Patrick says so many great things about this. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I know Patrick's done a review for this. Other than that, I'm just super excited to read it. He said it was one of the best books he read in 2021. This one I took a gamble on. And basically, a bunch of people that I follow really enjoyed this, or like, you know, they liked it, which I didn't think they would. That is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This is the Waterstones with like the black sprayed edges. It's got the signed by the author sticker because it is signed by the author. I also sent away for this one. I don't know if I'm going to like this. Honestly, I'm literally like Mark from Slowly Read liked it. Mike liked it. Sarah didn't mind it from Sarah Reed. So like enough people whose opinions and my taste kind of align with theirs liked it enough that I figured I'd give it a shot. Plus, I don't like the American cover, so I went for the UK edition. There we go. Alright, and then I'm going to save that one for last because I'm going to rant about it. So, the last little bit, I'm going to be getting another copy of this one. This is Bloodchild. This is the Godblind Trilogy Book 3. When I bought this, I didn't know I was buying the Harper Voyager UK edition. Both of my editions are the US Talos editions, so this doesn't match. If you know me, follow the channel, you know that bugs me. So we've got this one. I'm hoping to start that trilogy here soon, but we will see. Don't fall over. Don't do that. Alright, next up, we've got 1000 Lee. By the time you have seen this book haul, I've already done a book review for this. I read this pretty much as soon as it showed up. This is book 1 in 1000 Lee. This is a progression style fantasy from Tao Wong. I'll go ahead and link my review up in the cards. But I enjoyed it. And then also, I've got Blood Upon the Sand. I wanted to say On the Sand, but it's Upon the Sand. This is the Shattered Sands, book 2 in paperback. It's kind of beat up. I got this from Amazon. They were like selling for like $9, and I can kind of see why. It's kind of super damaged. Right there. But I figured for $9, I figured why not? I've already got book 1, 12 Kings of Sharakai, so I figured I'd add this because it is now a complete series, and I'm going to start trying to collect those. The last one is The Last Gift to Arrive from Christmas. This was from Nico. So thank you very much, Nico, because I've read 2 books from this author now at the time of recording, and that is Nori Leska Groans by Michael R. Fletcher and Clayton W. Schneider. I believe this is currently a finalist in SPF B07. So that is super exciting. Also, that formatting, again, is very, very generous. It's double spaced. This is not a long book. It's supposed to be dark. I don't know a whole lot about it other than that people who have read it have enjoyed it. Now time for the last book and the rant. I got Jade City by Fonda Lee in hardcover. However, Orbit should be ashamed of themselves because, guys, this is not an actual Orbit printed book. And they are charging full price for them, and they should be ashamed. Frankly, here is Jade War, Book 2. Here's what it's supposed to look like. Here is what they are selling now. You see the giant difference? You do not have this foiled... this is supposed to be black with green foil on the back. Instead, they're sending off to third party to print these much inferior qualities. Again, it's got that cheap spine that's not meant to last, where it's just held in. Yeah, look at that. This has never been read, and of course it's about to fall out because, yeah, you know, why not? Let's charge $27 for a subpar product. Because when you get in on the spine on this one, you can see it's got that cloth ribbon in there. This is bound to last. It's not falling out. I could hold it like that all day. No problems. So, it's got this kind of barcode on the back where, of course, this is basically what Orbit has done. Is they've sent off to an indie printer to do another run of Jade City. It's gotten to the point where even Fonda Lee has weighed in and encouraged fans not to buy her hardcovers. Because not only has Orbit done this with Jade City, as far as I know, they've done it with Rage of Dragons, as well as some of the Expanse books. This is unacceptable, and to make matters even worse, they did not even update the ISBN. So basically, there is zero way when you are shopping online to differentiate between this cheap knockoff that they are charging full price for or a genuine hardcover from Orbit. So basically, when you're searching this online and you think, oh, I'll just search the ISBN. No, you're going to get the 2017 ISBN. That is not this book. So yes, this is officially licensed by Orbit, but this is not printed by Orbit. So you are getting an inferior book and being charged full price, which is unacceptable. That said, guys, that is the end of this obnoxiously long book haul that I am finally caught up on. So, till next time, guys, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.